Well, good evening and welcome to TV47 Weekend Edition. In tonight's broadcast, we're bringing the latest developments as President Ruto's United Democratic Alliance UDA party introduces proposed amendments to its party structure and leadership. These changes put forth Vice Chair Omar Hassan during the National Governing Council and Kisii meeting at the Bomas of Kenya include the inclusion of deputy governors in the county government caucus of the party. Please do not mistake my attire to this. It's just a coincidence. Welcome on board. My name is Linda Alela.
Well, and I'm Eric Munene. Later on our Disruptive Friday segment, we will have an in-depth conversation with an entrepreneur who is harnessing technology to anonymize user data while taking online shopping to new heights. We'll explore whether such innovations hold the key to safeguarding people's data. But first, let's dive in into the highlights. But first, before we even dive into the highlights, what exactly do you know about data protection?
Data protection. Well, I know that we have clauses and laws enshrined in relation to that and all these things that we've learned in school. But one thing I am sure about is that there's nothing like data protection, because every other time you are, getting to encounter people, technology, and all time, you have to key in your data, crucial data, on different gadgets, and you leave them there. And sometimes you want to ask yourself, just how safe, how protected is your data?
Definitely, and we keep leaving footprints of our data everywhere you go. Every time you use your mobile money wallet, you leave your data somewhere.
Sadly.
Every time you jot down your ID and number before you enter or make an access to a building, you leave down your data. But something interesting happened this week. The Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, whose holder is Emmanuel Kisii, has upped 3 organizations with hefty fines for unknowingly or knowingly revealing personal data. But
We
first,
have to be careful. The highlights.
Tonight, 3 petitioners moved to court to challenge the constitutionality of the National Dialogue Committee membership.
There will be no protection for officers involved in corruption.
Head of Public Service puts corrupt police officers on notice, says everyone will carry his or her own cross.
Wanasema vijana wakiingia kwa hii kanisa wanakosa maadili mema.
And Mihiriga Kenda religious group operations stopped. Police say the group may be advocating for female genital mutilation in Kiambu County.
And officially welcome to the broadcast. This is TV47 Weekend Edition. My name is Linda Alela. Sign language interpreter tonight is none other than Catherine C. Malawi. And the lines are open for you to interact with us, even as we await that crucial conversation on just how well your data is protected. The hashtag, as always, is Disruptive Friday. Now, the fragile truce forged between the Azimio and the Kenya Kwanza coalition in a bid to bridge the political divide in the country has hit a legal roadblock. In an unexpected twist, 3 petitioners, Issa Elanyi, Patrick Kirapa, and Paul Kirui, have sounded the alarm bells regarding the constitutionality and the legality of the National Dialogue Committee's initiative. As Grace Kuriakanja reports, the 3 have raised their concerns on the legal framework, rushed timelines, and an unsanctioned expenditure, a move that may disrupt the status quo.
The bipartisan talks between Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Kwanza have encountered a legal hurdle if the fresh petition by 3 Kenyans is anything to go by. The 3 petitioners, Issa Elanyi Chamao, Patrick Karani Ekirapa, and Paul Ngaywewo Kirui, have presented a series of prayers to the court, among them conservatory order to halt the respondents from considering issues related to the amendment of the Constitution. They argue that the committee lacks legal framework to govern the amendments proposed by the National Dialogue Committee, raising questions about the transparency and legitimacy of the entire endeavor. They also contend there is no clear legal framework guiding the collection of public opinions in an inclusive and participatory manner, which is a foundational step for any constitutional change. The 3 petitioners are also uneasy with the remarkably short 7-day period allotted for the collection of views on constitutional issues, which they assert are of profound importance to the nation. In an effort to curb any further financial allocation to the committee, they also want the clerks of the National Assembly and the Senate barred from utilizing public funds to support the National Dialogue Committee. The legal battle is set, with a long list of respondents including the 10 members of the National Dialogue Committee, the National Assembly, the Senate and the Attorney General. Notably, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, the Law Society of Kenya and Katiba Institute have been enjoined as interested parties. Now, should the court heed the petitioner's plea and grant the sought-after prayers, it could potentially deal a significant blow to a process viewed by many as the last hope for these feuding political factions to find a common ground and restore unity. Grace Kuriakanja, TV47.
Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga has voiced his resounding support for the national dialogue, hailing it as a healthy and people-centered platform for addressing critical and national issues. Speaking in Mombasa when he met with Azimio leaders, Raila said Azimio will present a new proposal to the National Dialogue Committee seeking an increment in the allocation of resources to the devolved units from 15% to 35% to enhance services at the devolved unit. Paul Muniu with that.
In a meeting involving Azimio core principals and elected leaders under its political umbrella, 10 critical recommendations were fronted aimed at addressing pressing issues affecting the nation.
1.
Recognizing the burden of the high cost of living due to escalating taxes, Azimio has declared its unwavering support for the national dialogue, noting that the talks are vital and people-centered initiative.
We want the talks to be people-centered, focused, and that there must be a show of commitment by all parties. Even as talks go on, we shall continue to pursue justice for the victims of police brutality during our peaceful demonstrations.
On service delivery at the devolved units, Azimio leaders have called for an increase in the allocation of the county resources, advocating for a minimum of 35% to be channeled to the county governments, while warning the national government against interfering with the functions of the county governments.
Allocation of resources to counties should be increased from the current 15% to a minimum of 35%. This proposal will be presented before the National Dialogue Committee sitting at the Bomas of Kenya for consideration. It is in line with the Azimio manifesto which we presented to the people of Kenya last year.
In a move that underscores the significance of public assets, Azimio leaders have expressed a strong dissent regarding the government's plan to privatize portions of Lamu and Mombasa ports.
And we shall resist it until the issues Kenyans have raised are openly and adequately addressed. We demand for transparency and openness in the management of the public affairs and public assets as required by the law.
Now, if these propositions are received by the government or not, and whether they will shape the trajectory of governance in the country, is a matter of wait and see. Paul Muniu, TV47, Mombasa.
Now let's cross over to Kisii County, where a wave of fear and frustration has swept over the community living in the county. Recent incidents of runway insecurity have left villagers on the edge, and their patience has run out. And of course, the latest and perhaps the most audacious act of criminality unfolded under the cover of night as a group of daring suspects carried out robbery at the St. Michael's Secondary School. Now, with tension and fear gripping the hearts of the villagers, a collective sense of outrage has ignited a quest for justice as residents are taking the law into their own hands by burning houses belonging to the suspects. Here is Alfayo Kombo with more.
Bomagena residents in Nyamondo, Kisii County today took the law into their own hands, setting 5 houses on fire.
Vijana pia walianza kutoa vitisho kwamba usiku huo wangetaka kuona wanaume ambao walitembea umahidi.
This destructive act came in response to an incident early in the day when one of the suspects revealed the location of suspected stolen property.
Ndio wakaiba kuku, hizo kuku ndio zimesababisha nyumba za boma hizi 3 zikachomwa.
The situation escalated further when the 2 suspects were released by the police shortly after their arrest.
Na hasa wala ambaye wasukiwa tunawajua kwamba wako lakini wametoroka, wawekwe nguvuni ili wapelekwe kotini wastakiwe kulingana na mujibu wa sheria.
The act of arson followed a burglary at St. Michael's Sumogumo Secondary School the previous day when the thieves broke into the school and stole 11 laptops, a sack of maize, beans, and other items. The villagers who have been grappling with runaway insecurities in the area for some time now are calling the government to intervene.
Wakakuta shule imezaa funjwa, kaanza kupiga nduru, asasi wakaja, kaanza kufuata vitu vilivyokuwa vimeibiwa, mahindi, maharagwe na vingine kadhaa. Sasa maharagwe ilikuwa inamwagika njiani, wakafuata nyayo ya mahindi mpaka mahali tulipo hapa sasa.
Etago Speedy Labanomol confirmed the incidents while speaking to TV47 on phone. He mentioned that the 2 suspects had been arrested and some of the stolen goods from the school as well as other villagers' properties were recovered during the search raid conducted by the villagers.
Wizi sio leo ama jana umetendeka. Umetendeka kwa muda mrefu. Hakuna mikutano ambayo inafanywa na wale ambao wamepewa nafasi ya kuitisha mikutano wajulie hii shida iko wapi. Maana walifu wako miongoni mwetu.
The residents have urged the security forces to bolster security measures in the area to prevent further occurrences of theft and insecurity.
Vile walifu umetokezea, hofu ambao umekaa kwa wananchi, huenda kesho ama usiku wa leo ni wao huenda wakatolewa ndani ya nyumba.
Kombo Alfayo reporting for TV47, Bomondo South Mugirango.
And back to politics. Tonight, President William Ruto has rallied Kenya Kwanza affiliate parties to fold and form one political party. The president, who led the first national governing council of the ruling UDA party at the Bomas of Kenya here in Nairobi, however, said no party will be forced to fold, saying that consensus will certainly prevail. The NGC approved the party's elections to be held in December, with the president promising a free and fair party poll. Apollo Kamau with that.
President William Ruto stepped up his quest to fold Kenya Kwanza affiliate parties and form a single political party for the 2027 poll during the party's first national governing council meeting after winning last year's elections. The president stepping in to calm jitters of sibling rivalry within Kenya Kwanza camp, coming from ANC, Ford Kenya, and other small parties, which have accused UDA Secretary General Cleophas Malala for disrespect after telling them to fold and join UDA.
Hatuwezi kuwa madikteta tuwaambie lazima mfanye hivi, hapana. Na nimesikia watu wengine wetu hapa wanasema lazima wafanye hii, lazima hapana. Lazima hapana. Unasema tu ni vizuri. Ni vizuri kama wangeungana na sisi, si ndio? Lakini hatuwezi kusema lazima. Lakini tunataka idhini yenu tuzungumze na wao ili tuwashawishi wale watakuja kuungana na sisi waje tuungane tuwe ni chama kikubwa cha kitaifa pamoja.
President Ruto's push to make UDA a mega party has seen the party membership rise from 54,000 to 7.2 million members, with Malala saying the party is targeting 15 million more members by April next year in the ongoing aggressive recruitment drive.
The UDA party was not formed for the sole purpose of forming government. It is a party based on ideology, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. So this is a party of the future, the party that must live for generations to come.
We take pride in being the largest political party in Kenya. Honorable council members, we have a target of 15 million members by April 2027.
The NGC setting December 9 for the party's poll, where party members will vote for grassroots leaders all the way to the top leadership.
Nasikia watu wengi wanasema sijui, maybe this is not the right time, maybe tungepungojea, maybe tungepanga siku ingine. Hapana, this is the time. Hatuwezi kufanya uchaguzi ya chama kama uchaguzi inakaribia ile ya national sita tukoroga. Sasa heri saa hii kama kinaumana kiumane saa hii ndio tujue vile ya kujipanga.
In what is seen as killing two birds with one stone, the party has proposed MCAs be financially independent and benefit from pension like other leaders through a yet-to-be-drafted bill, a move pundits say will end conflict between MCAs and governors while wooing grassroots for the 2027 poll. A year after winning last year's general election, UDA has its eyes set on 2027, with Friday's National Governing Council meeting setting in motion plans to form a mega united party. Apol Kamau, TV47, at the Bomas of Kenya.
Thank you, Apollo, for that. And it's about 15 minutes past the top of the hour. I think it's fair that Catherine and I take a glass of water, and then we'll be coming back with more news. So don't you go anywhere.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Moyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Toka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Turukana.
Kwa matukio yote yanayojiri katika kaunti hii 012.
Kutoka kaunti nambari 1, kaunti ya Mombasa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Lamu.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka Kisii County.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Machakos.
Kutoka kaunti hii ya Trans Nzoia.
Kaunti 038.
Kutoka gatuzi nambari 029, kaunti ya Nandi, chemichemi ya mabingwa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Kakamega.
Itakuwa nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Bungoma.
Jina langu ni Paula Munio.
Willy Dennis Jiru.
Fabian Kibet.
Mimi ni Hashim Jimal.
Mimi ni Kitio Mika Masai.
John Javakiania.
Jina langu ni Abdulaziz Nameka.
Mimi ni Kombo Alfayo.
Jina langu ni Nicholas Mbai.
Isaac Famba.
Mimi ni Wanji Sosti.
Jina langu ni Arnold Adidi.
Jina langu ni Chris Bet.
Jina langu ni Violet Auma.
Na TV47 inapotamba, mimi Sheila Chelangat nitakuwa nikiripotia maswala yanayokuhusu wewe kila kuchao. Every Thursday 7:30 p.m. unapata nafasi kufahamu viongozi mbalimbali kutoka humu nchini, kuanzia wabunge.
Through Changa, we could get money to pay our rent.
pay our bills.
When I was growing up, water was a problem where I was born and bred. We wake up at 3 to go and look for water.
Magavana
must be ready to be a tough woman and not a woman to be walked over.
BN Radio 47.
You're watching TV47 Weekend Edition with me, Linda Alela. And to more news, the head of public service, Felix Kisii, has confronted the long-standing issue of corruption within the National Police Service, acknowledging that there are a few individuals in the police service who have continued to taint the image of the service because of corruption. The head of public service recognized the urgency of the situation, vowing to weed out the cancer of corruption in the National Police Service. And as Eric Matika now reports, Kisii's bold declaration marks the beginning of a renewed and determined effort to cleanse the police service of corruption.
In a candid and critical assessment of the state of the National Police Service, the head of public service, Felix Kisii, openly acknowledged the existence of deep-rooted corruption within the ranks of the force. Kisii did not mince words, addressing the issue head-on by acknowledging that a few individuals in the service have been responsible for tarnishing the image of the National Police Service through their corrupt practices.
The President has pronounced a ruthless war against corruption. The President is leading this war personally with boldness and resolve. There will be no protection for officers involved in corruption. Nobody. Neither will there be a place to hide or sacred cows. Accountability will be down to the individual level.
Kisii pointed out that the vice has led to miscarriage of service, which he says has eroded the citizens' trust and confidence in the government and its organs. He directed the IG to lead the process of transforming the service by weeding out corrupt elements.
They don't believe. They think that sasa wanandanganya niende tu, alafu mkora akuje apeane pesa hapa, alafu kesi yangu itapotea. They don't believe. That is why you get people, your customers who are coming to report. They come to you, they go and look for their MP, they go look for the MCA, they look for the village elder, they call another colleague, policeman, friend of yours, or the person who knows. They go everywhere because they don't trust. They are very cynical. They don't trust. Ensure that whatever rotted elements within us are decisively dealt with so that we get a police service that has honor and dignity.
During the forum, the police heads were tasked with developing actions on how to combat corruption in their regions. The action plans, he said, will be consolidated into a National Police Service Corruption Prevention Plan, which is expected to be in place in 3 months. Kisii said they are cognizant of the challenges faced by the officers, and he assured the officers that the government is committed to implementing all reforms in the service. Eric Matika, TV47.
Thanks, Eric, for that. Now, President William Ruto has assured Kenyans that he will change the nation for the better despite the high cost of living that they have been grappling. And I'm told that we will be bringing you that story later on. But at this very point, we pick a different one. Remember, the president was speaking while in Bomas. And so allow us to pick this one before we get to that one. And police in Kiambu County have today closed down all operations of Mihiriga Kenda religious group on grounds of operating without proper registration and also being suspected of advocating female genital mutilation among its members. Elizabeth Atieno now reports.
In a shocking and dramatic turn of events, police officers Friday descended on a controversial church nestled in Gadangari village in Githunguri constituency, Kiambu County, igniting a storm of controversy and suspicions that have shaken the local community. The congregation, known as the Mihiriga Kenda worshippers, found themselves in the spotlight as the police operation was triggered by allegations of spearheading female genital mutilation in the area.
Wanalazimisha watu kuingia kwa hii dini na watu hawataki. Tumefanya sampling, over 70% ya watu hawataki hii dini, wanalalamika.
Hiyo mambo inaelezeo hapa ya kukekeketa wanawake, hiyo sisi hatujui, na ni kitu hiyo serikali yetu ya Kenya haitaki, na sisi tuhusiani na siasa.
Police officers led by Kiambu Deputy Commissioner David Juma have established that the church license expired in 2020, rendering their operations illegal for over 3 years now.
Mambo yote ambayo ilikuwa yanatendeka hapa yakome kuanzia leo. Hakuna mikutano itakuwa hapa mpaka tuchunguze, kwa sababu kama kibali kime-expire, ambayo ni certificate ya kufanyia kazi kawaida imeisha muda wake, lazima iwe renewed.
Ndio inaleta hii shida yote na ndio inafanya tuwekeleo hii mambo yote, na nikitaka hiyo usaidi ya hiyo mambo yote inasemwa iletwe ndio tuvugio hapa.
The controversy surrounding the church took even a darker turn when residents pointed to a recent incident that sent shockwaves in the area, where a middle-aged man died by suicide after allegedly killing his mother. Locals connecting this tragic event and the activities of the sect, further fueling concerns about the church's influence and practice.
Huyo kijana most likely alikuwa ako kwa hii kanisa, ndio sababu tunataka kuchunguza tujue, je, alikuwa kwa hii kanisa ama hapana.
Sisi tuhusiani na siasa, na sisi mambo hiyo ya mafunzo ati inaambio tunalete watu kwa nguvu hapa, hiyo hapana, tukui naye.
Police officers say the church will remain closed until investigations are completed. However, the sect's leader, Kiambuthi Masharia, insists that the operations are legal. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47.
And we now get sporty. The national women's lacrosse team has been flagged off at the Lenana School in Nairobi ahead of their trip to Canada for the Canadian Super Sixes tournament. The team is expected to depart the country for Canada on the 1st of October this year in what will be their first outing since 2019. The team will be competing with 6 best teams in the world, including the United States of America, Canada, and Jamaica. Speaking during the flag-off ceremony, Lacrosse Federation of Kenya Deputy President, that is Fred Osore, stated that the team is well prepared for the task ahead of course, as he expressed his confidence over the players registering good results.
Present our country in the Sixes Super Tournament, so we'll be leaving on 1st, and we've been preparing ever since March. We've been training, we've been giving our best, and we just hope for the best.
We have tried our level best. Tumekuwa na several camps preparing, tumekuwa na several friendly matches against teams locally, and I think we are ready for the tournament in Canada.
We are having the best 3 countries in the world. They are going to be there. We have the United States, which is the top country in the world. We are having Canada, which is the second toppest country, the second most best country. And then we are having the Haudenosaunee, which are the 6 nations, but in the US, which is the 3rd best in the world. And we are also going to have India, we are going to have Haiti also being there, and of course Kenya. So we're going to play against the best of the best. And we are sure that our girls are going to perform very well. And we are hoping that they will be in the medal bracket.
It is an example to the many young people that there are opportunities, and that also any barriers they have can be broken. We believe this is a team that's showing an example of how you can begin and be an example. There are quite a number of young people out there who need to be given an opportunity to excel. And one of the things that we believe will help, this exposure will help showcase the kind of talent we can grow as a nation.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Moyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news this way every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi wa siasa kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia saa 1 kamili na kuendelea.
Toka eneo hili la Naivasha kwenye kaunti 032, gatuzi la Nakuru.
Kutoka kaunti ya Elgeyo Marakwet, kaunti 028.
Nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Wajir.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Turukana.
Kwa matukio yote yanayojiri katika kaunti hii 012.
Kutoka kaunti nambari 1, kaunti ya Mombasa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Lamu.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka Kisii kaunti.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Machakos.
Kutoka kaunti hii ya Trans Nzoia.
Kaunti 038.
Kutoka gatuzi nambari 029, kaunti ya Nandi, chemichemi ya mabingwa.
Nikiripotia TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Kakamega.
Itakuwa nikiripotia runinga ya TV47 kutoka kaunti ya Bungoma.
Jina langu ni Paula Munio.
Willy Dennis Jiru.
Fabian Kibet.
Mimi ni Hashim Jimal.
Mimi ni Kitio Mika Masai.
John Javakiania.
Jina langu ni Abdulaziz Nameka.
Mimi ni Kombo Alfayo.
Jina langu ni Nicholas Mbai.
Isaac Famba.
Mimi ni Wanji Sosti.
Jina langu ni Untold Adidi.
Jina langu ni Chris Bet.
Jina langu ni Violet Auma.
Na TV47 inapotamba, mimi Sheila Chelangat nitakuwa nikiripotia maswala yanayokuhusu wewe kila kuchao. Every Thursday 7:30 p.m. unapata nafasi kufahamu viongozi mbalimbali kutoka humu nchini, kuanzia wabunge.
Through Changa we could get money to pay our rent, pay our bills.
When I was growing up, water was a problem where I was born and bred. We wake up at 3 to go and look for water.
Magavana
must be ready to be a tough woman and not a woman to be walked over.
Kwa hivyo
you respect people.
Dari ya mfahamu kiongozi, story na historia, na mi Elizabeth Mutuku.
Kwa mirindimo kemkem ya michezo, mahojiano ya kipekee na mabingwa wetu, makala ya kuvutia pamoja na matukio mubashara viwanjani. Shabiki, tutapiga mbizi katika kila kiwanja, ndani na hata nje ya nchi. Mtazamaji, uko tayari? Ni kazi michezoni ama michezo kazini? Ungana nami Ahmed Bahaj, sajili mpya nimefika katika kipindi cha kipekee Mchaka Mchaka. Zitatoka cheche, tutapiga mstari chini yake. Si bora michezo, ni michezo kwa ubora wake. Ni cheche.
They say money makes the world go round. So let's slow things down a bit. Put things in perspective. From the markets to the streets to the stocks, We make the complex comprehensible. Join me, Hibak Said, on TV47 Business News for market insights like never before.
What's making the headlines? What does it mean to you? How does it affect you? We answer all these questions every Sunday for half an hour on To The Point Show. Hey, I'm Grace Kuriakanja, and a lot has happened this week. Let's dive into it.
Wanasema wasemao kuwa elimu ni bahari haiishi kwa kuchotwa. Wakati mwingi natangamana na wanafunzi madarasani, sio kama mwalimu bali kama nahodha kwenye kipindi cha tasnia ya elimu. Na iwapo utanikosa madarasani, basi utanipata nyanjani nikisaka habari zenye usawa, ufasaha na ukweli. Na iwapo utanikosa nyanjani, bila shaka utanipata studio hapa kusoma habari na kuendesha.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You know, when it is Friday, of course, it is Disruptive Fridays, and one of the biggest news this week has to be that of the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, who slapped 3 organizations with hefty fines for unknowingly or knowingly revealing customer data. Of course, I have with me in studio John Kioko, who's the founder and CEO of Residency Technology, a company that anonymizes data. How do they do it? He'll be telling us that in a few. But first, the latest in technology this week. Safaricom has joined forces with Science Media to integrate the Assistol mini app into the M-Pesa app, a move aimed at promoting inclusivity and accessibility for Kenyan individuals with hearing impairments. The Assistol mini app is designed to empower Kenyan citizens with hearing impairments, providing them with an opportunity for equal access to opportunities that were previously hampered by communication barriers. In addition to benefiting individuals with hearing impairments, the partnership will also empower registered sign language interpreters. It will create opportunities for them to offer their services through the app, facilitating economic empowerment and job creation within the community. The app will offer sign language interpretation services across various categories, catering to corporates, professionals, and individuals, all at a reasonable cost. The Assistol mini app is poised to play a crucial role in addressing the gap in sign language interpretation services across various sectors, including healthcare, judicial facilities, government services, finance, and transport, among others. Now, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, ODPC, this week imposed fines totaling 9.3 million on 3 companies for violations of data privacy rights pertaining to their subjects. Now, Mula Pride Limited, the operator of KE Credit and Fair Crash mobile lending apps, was fined for using the names and contact information of complainants obtained from third parties. The data was subsequently utilized to send threatening messages and make phone calls. Casavera Lounge, a restaurant located on Ngong Road in Nairobi, was fined for posting an image of a reveler on their social media platform without obtaining the owner's consent. Roma School, on the other hand, was fined for posting pictures of minors without obtaining parental consent. In response to these fines, the Data Commissioner, Immaculate Kisii, emphasized the importance of data controllers and data processors, ensuring that the processing of personal data complies with the law. Also, ODPC has announced ongoing investigations into potential data breaches by 2 other entities, namely WhitePath, a digital credit provider, and Naivas Supermarket. The investigations suggest a commitment to upholding data privacy by the office. Of course, that story will be the basis of our discussion tonight. And finally, in the past 2 years, a total of 8 Kenyan tech startups have ceased operations, with a 9th startup facing financial distress, despite securing approximately 35 billion Kenya shillings in investor funding. Among these companies, technology-driven logistics firm Sendi Group has entered into the administration era due to its inability to meet its debt obligations, marking the latest startup to face closure. The High Court has appointed Peter Kahi of PKF Consulting to assume control of Sendi Group. His primary objective is to initiate a turnaround strategy for the company, with the possibility of liquidating its assets if the efforts do not prove successful. The exact extent of Sendi's indebtedness remains undisclosed at this time. Time now to introduce my guest in studio. That is John Kioko, the founder and CEO of Residency Technologies, a company that is innovating and ensuring that data belonging to its customers is not revealed elsewhere to third parties. Thank you so much for finding time to join us.
Thank you for having me.
What do you make of that move by the ODPC to slap 3 organizations with hefty fines for revealing customer data?
Yeah, to be honest, I was kind of excited like a kid when I saw that that post of when they posted it on the fine, because this I think it's the best thing that has really happened in recent times in terms of when it comes to data and private and our personal privacy, because that gives out a stern warning of how should we handle our data, how should our data be handled, because it's just a matter of negligence. Because when it comes to businesses, you do business with them, and then they think that that data is them. They can do with it whatever they want without even having to ask consent from you. And to be honest, I was just excited about it. Just a short form of it, I was just excited about it on how they went through it, and I think we are on the right path when it comes to, I think there is more to be done. There has to be more to be done, and other businesses should take this as a lesson on how are they handling and how are they processing their customers' data at the end of the day. And not just, the second the customer walks out of the door, you think that okay, this information is mine. I can just use it however I want. I can just, businesses need to have like protocols, or they establish some protocols on how we're going to process this information here.
And just before we head to how you are innovating to ensure that data is protected, data breaches just go beyond the use of tech devices. And I remember when we were starting the show, I mentioned, for instance, when you want to access a building in Nairobi, most buildings, you're required to write down your ID number and probably some other personal information. What do you think, very briefly, do you think should be done to ensure that such data is well protected and there's no data breach?
I think on that, that goes now to the organizations that are collecting this data, and in terms of the policies that they have, the organizational policies when it comes to that information that they are collecting, because it is because it's, I believe it started when, due to terror attacks and all that. It's something that protects our national security. Yeah. But at the end of the day, these organizations that are collecting this information, they need to, build stronger, privacy policies on the organizations. And I think the ODPC is kind of, standing up and telling them, you have to do it, right? You just have to do it. So I think there is no excuse right now. There's just no excuse. I think all now, because it has been a part of now, I'll reiterate this, it's about negligence, right? It's all about negligence. Formulating policies around this information that you're collecting, it's not something that has to be complicated, because you need to value this customer that is coming into this building, this person who is coming into this building. How are you protecting the information? They have willingly decided, okay, yeah, I'm not here to harm anyone. This is my information. So how can you just go on a step extra to make sure that that information stays or is used in in the purposes that it's supposed to be used, not other people trying now to get that information and use it in other ways that are not supposed to, that were not originally purposed for that particular use. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. John, you're in the online shopping space. Some players in the online shopping space are some of the most notorious people for harnessing data and using it inappropriately. You go to a supermarket A, and once you pay via mobile money wallet, you receive a text message later on telling you, thank you so much for shopping with us, and ABCD, we have these offers. You have come up with something, your company has come up with something known as the smart address system. How does it work to enhance privacy?
Okay, basically what it is, it's just a secure way for you to share your home address details, right? In a way that you don't, when it comes now to when you shop to a supermarket, mm-hmm. they don't have to share your personal phone number with the delivery person, because now that means that they've now handed out personal information outside their organization, because you can't tell me that the delivery guys, they are not regulated. Right? They don't have privacy policies. That supermarket has a privacy policy, right?
Okay.
So now what the solution that we've come up with is it's just a digital way for you to digitize how you share your home address, because as a country, we don't have an addressing system. We don't have a way to share our personal addresses. Today, if I told you, okay, just give me your address, you'd start telling me a very long story. It's usually a very long story, where now that this has brought up the idea of me having to give the delivery guy your personal phone number, so that they call you. It's like, once we are done, once you've made the order, okay, I'm out of the equation. Deal with the delivery guy now. Give the delivery guy that whole story, right? And now that brings up that aspect of personal privacy violation, because this guy wants, even after the package has been delivered, they still have your personal phone number.
And they can do anything with it.
Yeah, and today with your personal phone number, I have your government names, right?
Yeah.
And I can just check you out on social media. I know what you do and all that. I'll just it's just very easy. It's just a very simple thing. I'll create an identity of you. There are people who are doing that shoddy business. And now what we've done is we've created a platform where you can register your home address privately, and you can, and now the system aggregates that whole story that I usually give the delivery guy.
Okay.
How does the building, floor number, door number, that whole story. We just provide a platform for you to digitize that whole story, and the system aggregates that data and gives you a secure PIN location. That PIN location doesn't have your name, right? So you just drop me a PIN location. When I open that PIN location, I'll get a photo of the building, name of the building, floor number, door number, and a close landmark. So as a delivery guy, I have all I need to come to your doorstep, but I have no idea who you are, which I'm not supposed to even know.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm supposed to know is, where is this package going? Whoever owns that package, it's none of my business. I just need to know, take this package to this location. After you've reached the address, just notify the business. The business can just send you a notification. I like what Jumia does. It sends you a notification, but they still have a long way to go anyway, because they're still giving out, your personal phone number.
Let's avoid mentioning brands, but which brings me to the question: do you have a way of obtaining user consent now, if I am to engage your services as a Residency Technologies? I want to engage your services. I want to do home shopping, or rather online shopping, using your services. Is there a way that you have to obtain user consent from me, the user?
Yeah, when you're signing up for the address, the system has a disclaimer on how where this address is going to be posted, right? Whether if it's a home address, it's going to be posted on a private or on a private account. Right. So that now it tells you before you even start signing up. It has a disclaimer on it, and when you complete the registration, that address, it's only you who can be able to share it out with anyone. No one else can share it. No one else can see it unless you share it with them. So that's how we've mitigated that, that aspect of your own privacy, and also we make sure that you understand where or who can see this this address, this information that you're signing up, who can see it, and who can access it also.
Well, and another question tied to that, because one of the things that came out when the statement from the ODPC came out was about users knowing about the collection and the processing of their data or information. Do you have a way of doing that? Do you have a way of telling your clients how their data is being collected and how it is being processed?
Currently, what we are doing is you're going to receive an email, because we don't collect personal phone numbers in the first place. We don't collect personal phone numbers.
But you do emails?
Sorry?
Email addresses you do?
Yes, emails we do, but at the end of the day, an email address is not a unique identifier.
Okay.
It's not a unique identifier, because you can be called you're Eric. There are a lot of people who are called Eric, right?
Yeah.
And they have an email that is called Eric. So that's not a unique identifier at the end of the day. Yes, it's unique, but it's not that unique like your phone number or your national ID. So we don't collect personal phone numbers or IDs. So right now you receive an email. You usually receive an email when you sign up.
Okay.
You receive an email to notify you that.
All right.
Yeah.
And I think, well, we're having a very important conversation here with John Kioko. John Kioko is the CEO of Residency Technology. It's a company that is innovating to ensure that it protects the data that it collects and processes, the data of clients. John Kioko is also in the online shopping space. He's telling us what the company is doing to ensure that there are no data breaches when it comes to how they handle their data. But Kioko, what do you think, in your opinion, should governments and regulatory bodies play probably in coming up with better regulations? I know you've talked about negligence on the part of data processes, but also there's the government and regulators. What do you think from where you sit? And as a person who handles data a lot, what should be done to come up with ways that will have users and their data protected?
I think more goes on awareness, from the government sides, creating awareness because most people out there, they really don't understand how much their data has value today, right? 10 years ago, maybe it was a different case, but today, most of the bigger part of the population doesn't really understand. So the government can, increase, the awareness among the population.
Okay.
How much value or what questions should you ask, right? When you interact with these, platforms online, what questions should you ask? And also another thing is when it comes to policies.
Yeah.
Policies that are being passed by the government on protecting our personal information, even when it comes to, companies that are coming from abroad, the policies that protect us as citizens from now, because right now, we understand that we've just started the journey on data protection, So I think we have a long way to go, but I think we're on the right track, I think. Yeah.
Well, data privacy rights currently is an ongoing global concern.
Yeah.
And I want to believe that you know that as the founder and CEO of Residency Technologies. But what are you doing to ensure that you keep adapting? Because also the regulations keep changing. What are you doing as a company to keep yourselves updated on the evolving data protection regulations?
Well, first of all, it's from the team that we are the company culture that we are building.
Okay.
Personally, I call myself a data activist. That's like I love the part of privacy. I've made it my life, in terms of what's happening? And that now gives me that, that need to know what really is happening out there that we need to know and understand, and also creating a team that has passion on when it comes to personal privacy. How do we protect our users' privacy? Make sure that what we promised, we can deliver that at the end of the day as a company. So it's all about the company culture that we are building around people who care about their personal privacy, so that they can protect other people's privacy. Because if you don't care about personal privacy, then you're in the wrong in the wrong boat.
Well, they say that data now is the new oil, and we are now in the age of AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning. These systems use vast data sets to come up with specific languages. What do you think from where you see it should be done to ensure that such technology is developed in a very responsible way to ensure there are not data breaches?
I think it would okay.
We're talking about responsible AI.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to AI, that's it's a very new field that that is really growing very fast.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to regulation, there has to be a lot of regulation on what really the kind of data processing that is happening. How are we processing that data, and more from government policies? Can we make sure that we create government policies that can really control the developments in AI and the data, the machines that we are building, because we are going into digital economies. So how can governments play? I think governments have a bigger role on controlling how these innovations in AI, because even ourselves, we in the future we are eyeing on getting into that that field of processing data using machine learning. But then it just comes from the regulation, just the regulations.
And that is also tied to what I wanted to ask you next. Finally, what future innovations or developments should we expect from your side? Now I'm talking to John Kioko, the founder of Residency Technology. What should we expect? Because that is quite disruptive, if you ask me. Anonymizing user data is something that we don't see quite often. So what can we expect in future?
Okay, we've built a smart address system, and the next thing that actually we are currently doing is we are trying to figure out how can we use this system to create more jobs for the youths, also in terms of how can they leverage on it to make, because there's a lot of youths out there who anyway, we're complaining about lack of jobs and all that, right? And we've actually just started this program in Makueni County, where we are onboarding students who can now start running an errand delivery business on the system, and make a few bucks on it, right? Because now for businesses on the system, the businesses can build a virtual address book just to manage their customers' addresses in a smart way, and now students can tap into that and make a few bucks out of it. It's a new innovation that is under production. So we are developing it. We are hoping that we can create, jobs in Makueni County for 3,000. Our target is 3,000 youths over there. So that's something that you should expect to see.
Pipeline.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, John Kioko, for that quite important, insight on this very important topic. Thank you, son. Thank you so much, and asante sana for joining us for this show. That is John Kioko. John Kioko is the founder and CEO of Residency Technologies. He's come up with a very innovative way to anonymize data. How cool is that? If you ask me, super cool. And of course, that is in the backdrop